Hello history friends. The status of the US dollar has become a clear focus for the administration of President Donald Trump, who is back in power. Trump, from the beginning of his presidency, has emphasized the importance of the American economy and reaffirmed his commitment to ensuring that the US dollar remains the world's primary currency. This is part of a broader economic strategy aimed at maintaining America's dominance in the global economy, both in international trade, investment, and global reserves. In recent years, several countries have begun to question the dominance of the US dollar. One of the main groups is the BRICS nations, which consist of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. BRICS has long sought to reduce their reliance on the US dollar in international trade, and now they are becoming more serious about these efforts. Particularly China, which in recent years has increasingly dominated the global economic stage, is now seen as the leader in the trade war against the United States. As reported by the Global Times, China has recently called for multilateral cooperation within the BRICS bloc to counter the threat of US import tariffs, which have been one of President Trump's key policies. As trade tensions between the United States and China, as well as other countries, have increased, China sees that one way to strengthen its position is by reducing reliance on the US dollar. In this context, China's International Trade Representative and Vice Minister of Commerce, Wang Shouwen, has developed a new partnership plan centered around BRICS. According to reports, the first international trade center of this plan will be launched in Hangzhou, located in Zhejiang Province, China. Wang noted that the center will serve as an international trade hub and promote greater economic cooperation among BRICS countries. Its main goal is to create a system that is more fair and balanced in global trade, which no longer relies too heavily on the US dollar. Additionally, China and other BRICS countries have also stressed that they want to respond to the growing unilateralism and protectionism practiced by the United States. The Trump administration has frequently used tariff policies and economic sanctions to influence other countries' decisions. This has raised concerns among nations that feel harmed by these policies, prompting them to seek alternatives that are more independent from US dominance. BRICS, as a rapidly developing group, is now seeing great potential in introducing local currencies for transactions between its member countries. If successful, this initiative could reduce their dependence on the dollar and provide greater stability to the global monetary system. It would also allow these countries to strengthen their trade relations outside of the influence of the United States. However, despite this growing support within BRICS, the challenge of replacing the dollar is not easy. The US dollar has been the dominant global reserve currency for over half a century, and many countries around the world still rely on the dollar for international trade, investment, and foreign exchange reserves. The main reasons are the dollar's stability and the high level of trust in the US economy. Therefore, shifting the dollar's role in global trade will require careful steps and a significant amount of time. On the other hand, the United States is not standing idle. The Trump administration has responded by strengthening its protectionist policies, such as imposing higher import tariffs and threatening economic sanctions against countries attempting to reduce their reliance on the dollar. In the long term, this could lead to further tensions between the United States and other countries, including the BRICS members. The last two US administrations have been seen as using the dollar as a weapon in different ways. Under President Obama, although foreign policy was more multilateral, the United States still maintained the dollar's dominance in international markets. However, under President Trump, the use of the dollar as a tool to achieve economic and political goals has become more apparent, especially through sanctions on countries like Iran, Venezuela, and Russia. In response to this, BRICS continues to push for the determination of its own financial future. In an effort to reduce reliance on the dollar, BRICS countries are encouraging the use of their local currencies for transactions and strengthening joint financial institutions like the BRICS Development Bank. This shows that these countries are not only defending themselves against US policies, but also attempting to create a more inclusive and fair global financial system. Overall, these efforts by BRICS reflect a larger shift in the global economic power dynamics. Although there are still many challenges and obstacles, this initiative provides a glimpse of a future where the world is no longer entirely dependent on one country or currency to maintain global economic stability. If BRICS succeeds in its efforts to replace the dollar, we could see the formation of a global financial system that is more decentralized, where countries have more freedom to set their own economic policies without being influenced by the dominance of one country. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Like the video if you enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any interesting information about economics, geopolitics, history, facts, and world events. See you in the next video.